Can you say something about how your own liberation happened? Perhaps in prison or once you got out?
It was 1994. I was in federal prison in Littleton, Colorado, and there was a prison project sponsored by the Gangaji Foundation, and they came in. So every week we have a little meeting, and all at the same time, Trump and Rinpoche had an organization, a prison project, and they were coming in. So we had two groups that we were attending every week. The Buddhists would give us the teachers, the Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, and the Gangaji volunteers would say there's nothing but that. Now, none of it makes sense to me at all. It didn't make any sense. I would watch the videos, and it didn't make sense to me. But then, September of 1994, she came in. I had been writing her. And even the letters that she came to me for a moment would stop my mind. I would just read, she never wrote long letters, it'd be 2 or 3 lines, and I was just like, oh shit, man. Oof. So she was priming the pump, getting me ready for this. And so the volunteer says, Gangaji, come in today, get your best question. So I wrote out all these questions and all this stuff, you know. And then when I got there in her presence, we came out of meditation, she looked over at me and she says, Kenny, I've been thinking about you. This prepared text question went out the window, and I spoke from the collective consciousness or unconsciousness of the African American culture. We were taught in the church that you have to die and go to heaven before you receive God's grace because we're all sinners. And so the church had already, I said, well, what the heck? What's why is me trying to find God? Because I'm already a sinner. I done robbed banks, cash checks, did everything under the sun. So I'm a sinner, so I know I'm going to hell because the way the teachings of the church. So I said, Gangaji, it's my understanding that we have to die and go somewhere to receive God's grace. She said, Kenny, God's grace is here now. Didn't make sense to my ego, my awareness of anything. It just went deep inside of me, and I just relaxed. And the next, she said, you think that you're a black man, you think you're ex-con, you think you're the father of a young lady, you're none of these things. And that was the last thing I heard, because then I had plunged so deeply into this bliss, I was just totally relaxed. And so when I was hitting bliss, I was hitting joy, I was hitting peace, as I was falling, I hit something. Survival, fear. Oh shit, how am I gonna take care of myself? All I know how to do is rob and steal. That was the first thing that came up, survival. I said, well, I ain't got time to deal with that right now, let's keep on going deeper. I deal with that when the times come, but right now I want to enjoy this. First time I could able just relax. Just relax. The meeting was over, I walked outside the hallway, and this story is in my book, my upcoming book called The Last Hustle. It's in the process of self-publishing it, and I had to throw that plug in, so. And so I walked out into the hallway where all the volunteers were standing, and the volunteer, Susan, I looked at her, and I looked into her eyes, and I saw nothing but love. And I said, are you like this all the time? She says, yes. I said, oh man, wow. So I got confirmation that I had experienced something from another human being. Then we walked outside, and it was nighttime, and we looked into the sky, and it was the first time I had been able to really appreciate nature. I had not seen nature, I had not seen love, I had not seen anything up until that moment. I was too busy trying to put on 3-piece suit, diamond rings, you know, and Cadillacs and all that kind of stuff. Now look, and I started seeing love in the human being. I started seeing love in the sky. And I said, wow, look at all those stars. Aren't they beautiful? And we just held hands and just took in, drunk, this love. After she left, I went to my room, I laid down in my bed, and all night long, all I heard was ceaselessly, constantly moving. It was like a high-speed tape was erasing this old guy. When I woke up the next morning, I was totally reborn. I was totally a new man. All I wanted to do was go in a corner somewhere, shut my blinds, and just be quiet. And so I had a job as a microfiche operator, so I would go into a room, call the lights out, because you had to cut the lights out in the microfiche room, and a little bit of light be on, I would be sitting there like, And all my friends, my hustling buddies, they saw something, so they would say, hey, man, come on, let's walk the yard, let's talk about them hoes, let's talk about the game. I said, I ain't really trying to do that, man. All I want to do is sit here and look at the sky, look at the mountains. And he was a player. He had some money waiting on him. He had a woman waiting on him. And so I love Westerns, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm sitting down, and he's sitting next to me. I said, man, I want to tell you about my teacher Ganges. I want to tell you about this woman, man, that changed my life. He got up. He turned. He says, Kenny, whatever that is you got, I don't want none. And I understood that because he had an investment. He was attached to his life. He was like a rich man. How can I give all this up for this stuff that looks crazy to me? You look like you done lost your mind. You're smiling, and you're in prison. And you're happy that you're smiling in prison. No, I don't want none of that. We love each other, and we hung out with each other, we talked, but we knew that we could never, ever, ever do what we've been doing the day before again. There's no way. It was impossible. I've been out since 1997, and you were asked a question. Well, is that old criminal nature still there? That way of surviving is still there, but I don't have the psychological energy to go back on this corner, wait and try to catch a woman and put her on the streets. I don't have the desire to go out and do that. But I do have the energy and the desire to go to meditation. I do have to try yoga. I do have to swim and run. I do have the desire to try to clean myself up. I do have that. I do have the desire to try to look at this light, meditate on this light. I do have desire for that and a love and a passion for that.